Yo. Man, couple of things to talk about. She getting mad at my dog, yo. But, there's a couple of things I wanted to touch on. So I decided to do a live. Um, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things. Give me a second. Let me set everything up over here on my end. So, you guys see the title of this stream, the title of this episode. Triple H is killing the vibe, man. He's killing the vibe. Raw's literally about to start in another 30 minutes. That just goes to show you guys how little care I have for the show at this point and how little care I have for WWE as a whole at this point, because the shit is just so boring. It's so formulaic. It's so predictable, and predictable doesn't always mean bad in every situation, but in these circumstances of the company right now, it does. This shit is ass. This shit is garbage. I mean, let me even show y'all the inspiration for why I titled the video the way I did title it. Because like this shit is just getting so whack. Actually, before I even get to that, let me even talk about SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is literally next week, I believe, right? Actually, no, it's next weekend. The weekend is coming up. What's up? What's up?
Your dog is getting on my nerves.
I know. Just thug it out a little bit.
Why you can't come in here?
Cause I'm streaming.
Okay. You're not gonna be in the video. Come on, bro.
He gonna piss me off.
Come on.
You can't be serious.
Bro.
If y'all see some shit moving around, it's my dog. My wife tired of him right now. I don't even blame her. But let's talk about this SummerSlam card. As you guys see here on the screen, there's a good amount of things to talk about. So this is going to be night one. So essentially, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are main eventing night one. Meanwhile, Roman and Seth Rollins are main eventing night two. So to some people who think that night two is the real main event, night one's not, I guess you got your answer on what's going to be which for which night. And now it even inclines me to believe certain things that are going to happen at the end of the night one show aren't going to happen. But we'll get into all of that. Let's talk about the card. Let's start from the bottom up to the top. I'll get my thoughts, my predictions, and we'll go from there. So first we got, I just don't give a fuck. I mean, the Fatal Influence versus Nikki, Brie, and Paige match, the Bellas and Paige. There's just not much to really talk about. Nikki made her return on SmackDown last week. The Bellas, excuse me, not the Bellas, my bad. Brie and Paige have had this run that has been noteworthy of nothing. Like nothing's been noteworthy in this run other than Paige returning at WrestleMania and them winning the titles. But even then, like the rest of the matches following, there was no kind of story. I know they kind of tried to do something with Fatal Influence, but I'm just not inspired by anything that they're doing in this story. Fatal Influence needed to win. I mean, JC Jane and Laney Reed, Fallon Henley, when they came to the main roster, they got a lot of heat on night one because they interrupted Rhea Ripley after her match with Jade Cargill. And they had some momentum going and they just went nowhere with it, right? JC Jane, she could have been a pick to win. What's it called? Queen of the Ring, and she didn't win. Just so we could get Io winning and having the exact same match that she had in the finals at SummerSlam or whatever. JC Jane was a great pick, and I don't even think she made out the first round, if I'm not mistaken. The tag titles just don't mean anything in that women's division. They need to get those tag titles and burn them. There's just nothing worth anything with those tag titles. They're disgraced. They're useless. They're useless as fuck. What else you got there? That's really all I can say. That's all I can say about that shit. It's a pointless feud that honestly is just there to give the women a spot on the card. It's one of those matches. Honestly, this could have been a SmackDown match. This could have been a fucking SmackDown match. I don't really see the need for us to do this. with any of these women. There's really not much to say. I think Fatal Influence is going to win. They need the win. So, yeah, there's just not much to say. They're going to probably put that shit on the first hour because, the first hour is free and they're going to just waste motherfuckers' time. People aren't going to watch this match. Nobody gives a fuck about this match. Fatal Influence will win. Next match, another 6-man tag, or I guess a 6-person tag with the men. LA Knight, Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso, Jay, and Jacob Fatu. I don't care that this is a specific match that we haven't seen, at least televised. But how many times are we going to have LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline interact with each other? LA Knight at WrestleMania was feuding with, or I guess he was feuding alongside the Usos to face, Speed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. Still involved in that whole shebang. A couple years ago, LA Knight feuded with the Bloodline when he faced Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel for the title. And that was fine. I actually liked that feud. Then he faced Roman Reigns again and was feuding with them at, I think, the Royal Rumble. Right? And they had that fatal 4-way with Randy, Roman, AJ Styles. And at WrestleMania last year, he faced Jacob Fatu. I mean, LA Knight has been stuck in the Bloodline vortex for who knows how long at this point. I'm tired. I'm so tired of this fucking feud. LA Knight deserves better. And, let me say something to the LA Knight fans out there because I'm one of the LA Knight fans. LA Knight is a perfect example of WWE just doesn't like it when you get yourself over. They don't like it. When LA Knight was changed from when he was changed from Max Dupree back to LA Knight, they didn't expect him to actually get over. I think LA Knight even had a quote where he said, "Give me 6 months or maybe even 3 months." It was some small period of time. Give me an amount of time and I'm going to get over. And he did. He got over so quickly. Shout out to Bray Wyatt. Shout out to all the guys in the beginning that he was feuding with. And for a long period of time, they weren't doing anything with him. I remember he got left off the WrestleMania card at WrestleMania 39, which was in Hollywood, ironically, right? LA Knight, not competing in LA. That's just insane. At WrestleMania for that. And it's clear that because they have no plans with him, they don't actually care about him. They just stick him in this Bloodline vortex. They beat him all the time. They don't care about protecting him at all. They don't give him any kind of valuable wins whatsoever. They want LA Knight to be in this vortex because they just don't care about him. And all of the complaining we do online about pushing him, it's just not going to work. They just don't care. And it's sad. It's unfortunate that they don't care, but it's the reality. And when I look at this feud and this whole 6-man tag that they're doing, honestly, who gives a fuck? Who cares about this shit? Let me move this over here. Who cares about this shit? The Usos and Jacob Fatu, they're going to win. Royce Keys is another one that when he came into WWE as Powerhouse Hobbs from AEW, there was a lot of, intrigue and interest in seeing what he could do. But, ever since he's come up to the main roster, he's just, hung around Jacob Fatu, feuded with the MFTs, and it's just been whatever. Solo Sikoa, because WWE is so contrarian and they like to do the opposite of what fans like them to do, I think Solo Sikoa is going to turn on them. And I think he's going to join back with the Bloodline. And in about 2 weeks, the MFTs, the rest of them, Tama Tonga, whatever his fucking name is, they're going to be cut. They're going to be released. You already noticed they're not even on TV anymore. They'll be gone and Solo will be back with the Bloodline because that's all WWE knows. That's all they know. Yeah, the Bloodline will win this match. Next, we got Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Gunther, man. What have they done to Gunther? When Gunther was the Intercontinental Champion. Shit, my dog is all over the place. If I move. I called him. His name is Braun. when Gunther was the Intercontinental Champion, there was something special about him, right? He brought so much prestige to that title. He was having great matches on TV, like weekly, like appointment television, whether it was against like Ricochet, Sheamus, Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all these guys that he was feuding with. And when he dropped that title and then won the World Heavyweight title, obviously that was a step up for him. Hold up. Move. Obviously that was a step up for him. But it seemed like after he won that world title, they tried to protect him as much as possible and give him the most amount of build that they could because of how he lost the title, right? He tapped out to Jey Uso. He tapped out. He was off TV for months. Then he came back, won the world title again, then lost to CM Punk, off TV for months again. And then he retires John Cena. He retires AJ Styles. And you would think usually in circumstances like that, they're going to belt this guy up, right? You have to when you do stuff like that. He tapped out John Cena. Whether you like the ending of that match or not, he tapped him out. So you would think WrestleMania comes, maybe he wins the Royal Rumble, he challenges for the world title, something to that effect. But no, he just has like a thrown together match with, who is it? Seth Rollins. And that was a really good match. Don't get me wrong. That was one of the best matches at WrestleMania, which isn't saying a whole lot, but they had a good match. And since then, he's just kind of, I don't want to say doing nothing, because he did compete for the title against Cody Rhodes. He had the triple threat with Sami Zayn, but it's clear they don't know what to do with him. And now it's led for us to have him facing Nick Aldis at SummerSlam. I mean, I don't want to say Gunther's buried. He's not buried. People throw that word around way too much. But it seems like whenever they feel like they've stumbled with Gunther, it leads to obviously not only more stumbling, but them trying to book him so strong to the point that after you've booked him strong, they don't know where to go. Because he's too strong to just job and lose to anybody, especially clean, right? After he's tapped out Cena, beaten AJ, retired them both. And then you don't want him to, win the title because you don't want to take it off Cody, or you don't want to take it off Punk, or you don't want to take it off Roman. So, and look, as far as the feud goes, I've enjoyed what they've done. I take what they've given and, I like it. But if I'm being honest, I feel like a spot like this would have been better for someone like Sami Zayn. It would have made more sense for someone like Sami Zayn. Truly. I mean, if you're going to do like a GM kind of thing, if anyone's been screwed, it's Sami Zayn. Being forced to compete on Raw for the championship on what? Like a weekend's notice, if anything, right? He was told on SmackDown by the Raw GM he was going to fight, on Raw for the title. Cody gets hurt and then Punk goes in there. I mean, if anyone has a gripe, it's Sami Zayn. I mean, you're also talking about what happened at fucking Saturday night's main event and how he got screwed there too. I mean, there's just not much to really say. Gunther versus all this. Can they have a good match? Gunther had a good match with Goldberg, okay? And I wouldn't say good. He had a solid, decent match with Goldberg. Gunther has proven he can have a good to decent match with just about anybody. He could wrestle a broomstick out there and have a good match. If Aldis doesn't have two left feet, if Aldis, isn't like completely washed, then I think they're going to have a solid match. Yeah, I think they'll have a solid match. And there is without a doubt only one right answer as far as who should win this match, and that should be Gunther. And I predict it will be Gunther. I do not think Nick Aldis is going to beat him. And if Nick Aldis beats him, yeah, we're going to have to start having conversations, Triple H. We're going to have to start having conversations. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Not really a whole lot to say about this match, in my personal opinion. Don't get me wrong. I like Liv Morgan. I like Io Sky, but I'm so over the Liv Morgan run as world champ. Liv won when it comes to her in-ring work. I mean, I've talked about this in one of my videos recently. Liv Morgan in the ring she can't hold a candle to someone like Io Sky. Their match in the finals of the Queen of the Ring, maybe they weren't trying to go all out because they knew they were going to face each other at SummerSlam, but that match was very pedestrian. Nothing special about that match. And now they're going to face each other again. They're running it back. Io Sky deserves better than this. Liv Morgan deserves better than this. I mean, for this to be her first championship defense since WrestleMania, that was like, what, a couple months ago? You're telling me she couldn't have feuded with Lyra? If Bayley's gone, why couldn't we get a Bayley versus Liv match? You could have actually run the Bayley and Lyra feud with a lot more heat if Bayley and Lyra were costing each other in their matches against Liv for the title. I mean, I don't understand how they just can't book simple television. This shit ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. I'm just so over this championship run. I think Liv's gonna retain because I don't think they're gonna have her drop the title in her first defense. But if it were up to me, I'd take that shit off of her. And the sad thing is, let's say Io does win. Unfortunately, it's not like WWE has a good track record of booking Io Sky's championship runs. Her first reign as champion, I don't really remember much about it, but she did have some solid matches. I remember the match she had with Bianca. You know, that's really it. That's all I can really remember. And when she lost it to Bayley. Io Sky, she doesn't have a great track record. In her last world title run, we saw how they didn't have her wrestle for months. I'm just so over this damn company, man. I'm so over it. It really doesn't matter who wins. They're both fucked. They're both fucked. WWE doesn't know what the fuck to do with either of them. So I have no real words to say. I'm just hoping it's a solid match. But when it comes to Liv Morgan, it's really a coin flip if you're going to get something really good or if you're going to get something pretty bad. So I'm just over it. I got Liv Morgan retaining. If it were up to me, like I said, I'd have Io Sky win the match. The next match, Hell in a Cell between Oba and Brock. Now, I will say, I'm not a fan of Oba dropping his King of the Ring, what was it? His opportunity for the championship. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like how they did that. But what I will say, when it comes to Oba versus Brock in this feud, I am a fan of what they've been doing, right? If it was up to me, I would have had Oba win at Clash. Was it Clash in Paris or Italy? Whatever. I think it was Clash in Italy. I would have had Oba win. I think you could have really established Oba as such a threat in WWE if he won 3 straight matches against Brock. Because, spoiler alert, he's going to win this match. And he should win this match. He's the young guy. He's on the rise. He's trying to make a name for himself. He should beat Brock Lesnar. But, in this feud, I just wonder now if Brock's actually going to retire after this. I mean, this is a great way to blow off a feud like this, Hell in a Cell. I wonder how long the match is going to go. It can't be one of those finisher spam 5-6 minute matches. It can't be that, right? Their first match, it wasn't really long, but it didn't really need to be long. You establish Oba as this dominant force. He beats Brock with 1 fall from grace. The next match, Brock hits him with 1,000 F5s, F5 through the table. He attacked Oba before the match even started, right? Giving him the advantage, and Oba still almost won. And he didn't hit his move. He didn't hit his finishing move because of Brock's attack in the beginning of the match, right? So you protect Oba, and even though I would have had Oba go over, at the end of the day, that's one of the best ways you could protect somebody, right? So now you have this third match. We should not be having a whole bunch of finisher spam and all that bullshit. 5 minutes, wham, bam, they're out of there. Oba wins. No, that's not enough. They need to have a legitimate match. And I'm not saying it's got to be like this traditional headlock, run the ropes bullshit. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you can have the slugfest, the brawl, all that aspect into the match. But it needs to be something that is legit carved out for like at least 10 to 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I mean, come on, Brock, you can give us that, right? I know he gets tired, he sweats, he's gassed as fuck. Don't get me wrong, I get that. But you can give us a 15-minute match, Brock. I promise you, you will survive. But I think they are going to have a really good match, and I think Oba's going to win. The main event, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. This feud, it ain't moving me, man. It ain't moving me. And maybe that's by design because they have a big twist coming in this match at the end of it, but it ain't moving me. What they've done so far, it ain't moving me. The whole, I respect you, friend. I'm not moved by that shit. I'm not. Because, look, we've been asking for a Cody Rhodes and CM Punk feud for the longest amount of time. And I'm glad that they're giving it to us now. I'm happy about that. But at the end of the day, you know, what they've done so far in this rivalry, it hasn't moved me. That promo they had on SmackDown the other day, that shit was very underwhelming. Underwhelming as fuck. Cody out here saying the same line that Steve Austin said, I have to win this match by any means, yada yada. And then he says to finish the story, the only way this story can end. Nigga, what the fuck do you mean the only way? You've already finished your damn story. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm done with the Cody Rhodes stories, okay? And I, by no means, am turning on Cody Rhodes. Hell, I wouldn't even be opposed to Cody winning the match if they're going to do a heel turn. That's the only way I would be cool with that. If it's a heel turn at the end of the match. Because Cody is stale, okay? Cody is getting boring. He's getting boring. And I know a lot of people talk about Homelander Cody and all that shit, but at this point with Cody Rhodes, what is so cool about his character? He's already finished his story. He's won the WWE title multiple times. If he just goes in there and beats CM Punk again clean and he is a babyface going forward still, you run the risk of him just getting booed out of buildings. Hell, he may even get booed in that moment. I don't want to see that shit. Cody, he's at the point now where a shakeup is desperately needed for his character. And maybe it's not even just a heel turn. Maybe it's just a more, you know, I guess, edge to his character, right? Like how Sami Zayn is. I don't think Sami Zayn's really a heel, but he's obviously not really a babyface either. He's just kind of a tweener. And he's making it work. I like it. It works for him. But this Cody shit, man, I'm done, bro. I'm done with the babyface. What do you want to talk about shit, man? It's time to move on. Coming out in suits, asking us what we want to talk about. Nobody gives a fuck. People are tired of the same guys at the top competing for the world titles, and yet you want to keep running the same damn character for Cody Rhodes? No, man. Give us something new. Give us something fresh. I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. Turn this guy heel. And you know the sad thing about all of it? He's not turning heel. I don't think WWE has the balls to actually turn him heel. If I were to bet any of them were to turn heel, I think it would be Punk. I think it would be Punk. They would think that turning Cody Rhodes heel is like killing the company, right? Because he's their top guy. I look at it similar to how Vince never wanted to turn John Cena heel. And that's how Triple H sees Cody Rhodes. He don't want to turn him heel. They're making a lot of money with Cody Rhodes right now as a babyface. And the more and more I see guests go on Cody Rhodes' podcast, like now Tom Brady's going on it, they love the idea of Cody Rhodes being this lovable babyface that they can promote everywhere. He's on all these fucking commercials, Slim Jim, whatever the fuck it is. I don't think they want to give that up. They think turning him heel means they're going to give shit like that up. When in reality, you're going to be freshening up your damn TV. And as far as Punk coming back and becoming champion, I don't really have too many thoughts on that. Look, I like CM Punk. I'm a big fan of CM Punk. He was my favorite wrestler growing up. Him, John Cena, all those guys. But I gotta say, man, CM Punk, he can definitely do both. But I think Punk is the babyface that they think Cody Rhodes is. He is. He's the babyface they think Cody Rhodes is. I think Punk's one of those guys that's damn near untouchable. Right? He comes out there, you know, he cuts these great promos. And even if you don't like him, you can't deny the guy cooks on the mic every single damn time. And look at what he did to Sami Zayn. There hasn't been an ounce of booing on that TV. I haven't heard anybody booing CM Punk for what he did to Sami Zayn. And maybe that's because fans don't like Sami Zayn like that. And they obviously would rather prefer CM Punk in that position. But, people will sit there and complain about, Cody Rhodes and him getting pushed. And if you're starting to hear, sometimes he'll get some boos. Sometimes those reactions, they aren't as strong as they used to be. But in the case of Punk, he's getting great reactions. There ain't an ounce of booing. There ain't an ounce of silence. Because one, Punk is a better promo cutter, and two, fans just like him more. So, as far as what I'm going to predict for this match, honestly, I think CM Punk, I'm going to go with what I think should happen. I'm going with a Cody Rhodes heel turn. And I think Cody Rhodes wins the title because you don't turn Cody Rhodes heel and not have him win. Unless I guess the plan is to run more matches, because I do think that will happen. I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to go out there and just have a one-off with CM Punk. I don't see that happening. But I expect a great match, and I expect the Cody Rhodes heel turn. Actually, who the fuck am I kidding? I don't expect that. Cody Rhodes, I'm in the middle, man. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't prepare for what I was going to say. I don't have no notes for shit like this, but I think Punk wins. I don't think they take the title off Punk this early. I don't think so. This is a hard one to predict because it's like the answer is so obvious as far as if you're going to pull off a twist, have Cody Rhodes turn heel. That's the right answer. But they just don't have the balls. Triple H doesn't have the balls. You talk about playing it safe. He doesn't. Now, last year, they did have CM Punk get cashed in on by Seth Rollins. They had the balls to do that little twist. But I don't see them doing it. I don't see them actually pulling it off. I say Punk retains. How it happens, that's up in the air. That's up in the air still. Night 2. Here's the card. Is there more matches on night 1 or night 2? Or it's the same? It's the same. This is not like the set in stone card as far as the wrestlers competing in these matches, because as you can see up here, we still don't know who the 5th woman is going to be in the ladder match for the women's championship, which is going to be interim. We'll get to that in a second because what the fuck. Let's start off with the weakest thing on this card. Danhausen versus Dominic. What can I say? What can I say about Dominic that a lot of people haven't said already? When Dominic turned heel on Rey Mysterio, a lot of people were struggling to see how that would work. I was one of those people. I was very skeptical on how good Dom could be as a heel because he was such a fucking boring babyface. And obviously, the only way forward was up, and Dominic skyrocketed. He thrived as a heel. And I think a lot of that was because of Rhea Ripley. The pairing with Rhea was such a perfect match. And I really don't think either of them have really been the same ever since. Rhea has still gone on to be successful, have great matches, good feuds. Don't get me wrong. I'm not denying that. But I just feel like when they were together, they were such a perfect pairing. Perfect pairing. And I think they split them up too soon. I know they got their nice moment with Liv and Dom at SummerSlam when Dom turned on her. But ever since he's left Rhea, Dom has just been floundering. And he peaked. Don't get me wrong. He had a nice moment and a nice peak when, what's it called? What was it? When he won the Intercontinental Championship. That was a good moment. And I thought for a moment, I was like, okay, maybe they could turn Dom babyface. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I thought maybe they could turn Dom babyface. But they didn't do that. They didn't capitalize on Dom's immediate momentum after WrestleMania 41. He didn't even defend that title often. I know he had a match with Penta at Backlash, which was, I remember it being solid. I just can't remember how good it was. And after that, I can't even remember who he lost the title to. Meanwhile, you got Sheamus, and granted, Sheamus has dealt with some injuries, but you got Sheamus out here going depressed because he can't win the Intercontinental title. How do you not build to Dom losing that title to Sheamus? And then he loses it to Penta, and granted, Penta's done a great job with that IC title. But ever since then, what has Dom been doing? The feud with Balor has been that was a complete bust. That was a complete failure. That didn't do anything for anybody. It didn't help the Judgment Day. It didn't help Dom. It didn't help Balor. All it did was give us a Finn Balor match, or the Demon entrance. Thank you, Trey. I completely forgot he faced John Cena. That just proves my point. He faced John Cena, and that match, that was a whole bunch of spots. Cena put him over. Shout out to Cena for that. But that match didn't do anything for Dom. It didn't elevate him in any way. It didn't get him more heel heat. They didn't capitalize on that shit at all. And John Cena wanted to work that match, and you just wasted it. Just wasted that shit. My thoughts on the Dom and Liv pairing, Trey. Honestly, I have no thoughts. The pairing is boring. There's nothing really about their pairing that's benefiting anybody other than the fact that they get TV time. I mean, people can hate on the Judgment Day all they want, but that's one thing about the Judgment Day and them bringing in Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. It gets them TV time, and it introduces us to these characters. There's this ongoing story. As boring and slow as it's been, it is a story that they're telling on Raw, and every week there's like something new unfolding. I'm sure there's something going to happen tonight that's unfolding super slow. But yeah, I don't really have many thoughts on Dom and Liv. But as far as this match with Dom and Danhausen, Danhausen he's got a lot of momentum right now as a babyface. He had a lot of, New York fanfare. So they tried to capitalize on that at MSG for Saturday night's main event. He was over. They brought in Karl Anthony Towns. Later on, that was with Roman. But that was nice. That was nice to see. Danhausen, I'm happy for him, but it's getting to the point where I'm going to be honest with you. He is getting overexposed. And it's not like Danhausen goes out there and has great matches. I'm going to be real. I think Dom should win this match. And I think he's going to win. I'm going to put my faith in WWE that they're not going to take this Danhausen shit that far and have him just beat Dom. Because this isn't like a no DQ match or anything. This is a straight up one-on-one match. And I guess you could still get some interference. But I don't see that. I don't see them beating Dom straight up to Danhausen. The buck stops there, okay? If you want to take Dom serious as a legitimate guy at some point in the future, which I know is hard to see now with how they've been booking him as of late, he has to beat Danhausen. I mean, come on. Come on. What are we doing here? I know WWE is getting bored with guys like Dom, Braun Breaker, and all of them, but you can't do that to Dom. You can't. You just can't. Not everybody's Sami Zayn and can bounce back from losing to guys like Johnny Knoxville. Okay? I don't know if Dom can bounce back. And also, what a slap in the face to AAA. What a slap in the face to have their mega champion lose to Danhausen, especially clean. Come on now. No. Dom has to win this match. And I think Dom will win this match. Next on the card, where should we go? Let's talk about the women's ladder match. Let me say something about this interim women's champion shit that they're doing with Rhea Ripley, and they don't want to take the title off her. Look, I'm be real. I don't get why WWE is now doing the interim title thing. I don't think interim champions should exist. I don't think they should exist. If you can't compete, then you need to strip them of the title. And I get that they don't want to take the title off of Rhea. They don't know how long she's going to take for the injury, but Rhea just said that she still has issues bending her knee. It's a torn meniscus. We don't know how long she's going to be gone. She could re-injure herself for all we know. She could slip in the goddamn shower and tear that shit up again. Take the title off her. She doesn't need it right now. She can come back and feud for the title when she returns. I mean, look at the women in this match. Jade Cargill, Chelsea Green, Charlotte, Tiffany. You could have put the title on any one of them by now. I'm just not feeling. What's up? I'm just not feeling this whole interim champion shit. I'm be honest with you. I'm not. And then also Tiffany Stratton, man. What have they done to Tiffany Stratton? She should be having a U.S. championship match at SummerSlam. She's in her hometown of Minneapolis. She's from Minnesota. She's going to get a great reaction, of course, but she should be defending the title. But because you got to do some interim shit and you need names in the match, you're going to have Tiffany Stratton compete for a championship when she has her own? We should be having Tiffany versus JC Jane. Tiffany versus Mariah May. No, my bad. What's Blake Monroe? Come on now. Hell, you could have been a triple threat match. That could have been a really good match. Just, oh God. But here are the names. Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, and Charlotte Flair. There's going to be another name added. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Jade and Charlotte. That should have been a one-on-one match. I actually think this match should be a one-on-one match between Jade and Charlotte. This should be a one-on-one match for the title. But instead, they wanted to fit other people in there. And this could end up being a really good match. It's a ladder match. It's a multi-woman match. People are going to get their spots depending on, the Daredevil shit they want to do. It could be really cool. It could be really fun. I remember the last time we had Tiffany and Chelsea Green in a ladder match. Tiffany pushed Chelsea off that damn ladder. I think she landed into 2 tables. That was a crazy spot. Shout out to Chelsea for taking it. I think Chelsea's going to take another nice little ladder bump, table bump, whatever the fuck it is. Well, I guess it's not a TLC match. But she'll take a nice spot. She'll take a nice bump. And honestly, there's a 5th spot. Which brings me back to the Charlotte and Jade shit not making any sense. Why are they costing themselves opportunities to go to the match? Or excuse me, my bad. They're putting each other in the match. So for those who don't know, Jade had a qualifying match 2 weeks ago against Nia. Charlotte came out and attacked Jade, which meant that Jade won the match by DQ. So Charlotte essentially gave Jade a spot in this match. Then fast forward to the next week, Charlotte is facing Nia because Adam Pearce said, okay, you're going to get your opportunity. I'm going to reward Charlotte for doing what she did in that Jade and Nia match by giving her a chance to qualify for the match. And then Jade comes out and attacks Charlotte and hence doing the exact same thing Charlotte did the week before. If you want to say Charlotte was just so, consumed with rage and that's why she attacked Jade, why the fuck would Jade then do that for Charlotte, knowing that that's how she got into the match? I just shitty booking, man. Just shitty book. It's like a slap in the face. They just think we're stupid. Whatever, man. The 5th spot, the 5th spot, it's going to go to Nia. Nia's going to get the spot. She'll be the powerhouse of the match. Charlotte's going to win. If I had it my way, honestly, I'd give that shit to Chelsea. But she's not going to win. Yeah. I got Charlotte winning. There's not much to really say, honestly. There's not much to really say. Let's move on to the next match. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. I think this could be one of those sleeper matches on the card that just shocks everybody. Both of these guys are capable in the ring. And honestly, I'm really intrigued to see if Finn Balor wins. Because lately, Finn Balor hasn't been losing a lot of matches. He's been winning, right? He beat Tala Tonga. He beat Tonga Loa. Sent both of those motherfuckers to the Shadow Realm. You know they're going to be released soon. He won the Fatal 4-Way match on SmackDown. Qualified for this match. Right? And I don't know. He's just been on a roll lately. Balor doesn't win matches. I'm not trying to be mean, but he's known for taking a lot of pins and losing. If it's a triple threat match and Finn Balor's in it, you know he's taking the pin. Right? And they've highlighted him in segments with CM Punk, right? Backstage. I think he had a segment with Cody Rhodes. And I just wonder if they're just really trying to tease the idea of Finn Balor being the first challenger for either Cody or Punk, which is kind of weird to me. Maybe it'll be like a SmackDown match. It won't be a match on a PLE, but it's really weird and strange just because Balor already faced Punk in a multitude of matches. I mean, you're just going to run that match back again, and he's not going to win, right? Balor versus Cody could be interesting, but again, we know Cody's going to win. So that's why I say it's been really interesting to see what they're doing with Finn Balor. But I'm going to be honest, I think Sammy's going to win. I'm kind of like 60-40 though. I could see Balor winning. I definitely could. And if I had it my way, I probably would have Balor win. But Sammy makes more sense with the story. And, he is legitimately owed a legit rematch, right? All this screwed him and Gunther over at Saturday Night Main Event. He had a random match thrown together against CM Punk for no reason, kayfabe wise. So, yeah, I think Sammy wins. And I think they're going to have a good match. I do. Next, we got... where should we go? Let's talk about Trick versus Baron Corbin. I have no words about why Baron Corbin is getting this match. Absolutely no words for why Baron Corbin's getting this match. This is a stupid decision. I don't understand this shit at all. How can they do Carmelo Hayes like this? This is the second time they've done this. Actually, I'll say third time they've done this to Carmelo. The first time they did this to Carmelo was when they took the US title off of him for Sami Zayn right before WrestleMania. Then the second time they did him dirty was when they left him off the WrestleMania card when he lost to Sami Zayn again. And now they're doing it again at SummerSlam? Why are they doing him like this? I don't understand what Carmelo Hayes did to piss Triple H off. I don't get it. They have so much history together, from NXT being Trick Mello, the breakup, Carmelo turning on Trick. And now you're going to have Trick defend the title at have a championship match at WrestleMania for the US title that Carmelo, Ilya Dragunov, who else? Sami Zayn, ironically, as well. They were putting on for that title. They made that shit relevant as fuck. They made that title mean something with those US Open challenges. And Carmelo is over. Anybody saying he's coming out there and not getting reactions, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. I don't understand why the fuck we're pushing Carmelo Hayes' story with Trick Williams aside for Baron fucking Corbin. What the fuck? Baron Corbin came back. And granted, he got holy shit chance, y'all. Holy shit chance. Probably the first and only time he'll ever get a reaction like that. He got those chants and reactions, and I don't know if WWE thought they were going to get some, I don't know, they had to capitalize on this and they had to give him a match. He hasn't even had a promo. He hasn't even had a promo with Trick Williams. Not a segment, not a backstage interaction, nothing. He just interrupted a Trick and Mello match, and you reward him with the SummerSlam match over Carmelo Hayes. Look, SmackDown's coming this week, right? It's coming this week. And maybe, just maybe, I'm holding on to hope they put Carmelo Hayes in the match. But the thing is, they've already started advertising the SummerSlam card. So I just... I don't get it, man. I don't get it. What did Carmelo Hayes do to piss Triple H off? What did Carmelo Hayes do? I don't understand it. Yeah, Dragunov too. Dragunov's getting done dirty. This, in all actuality, if you want to put Carmelo Hayes, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. If you wanted to put Baron Corbin in the match, at least make it a fatal 4-way. It could have been Baron Corbin versus Ilya versus Carmelo versus Trick. And that probably would have been a great match. And I'm not trying to shit on Baron Corbin because I know he's been working his ass off. He's a hard worker. A lot of people like him backstage. I think he even commented on Instagram saying, kind of agreeing with fans that Carmelo Hayes should have been in the match. He should have been involved in this. And anyone saying it's TKO, I see you, Trey, saying it's TKO. No, I don't think this is a TKO thing. What the fuck does TKO know about Baron Corbin? I don't know if maybe you're trying to say, maybe I'm trying to reason. Maybe Baron Corbin's reaction, like the numbers on the video on YouTube or something, were big and they had to capitalize on it. I don't know. Maybe let me see. Let me look that shit up. Maybe Baron Corbin's return got like millions of views. Let's pull that shit up because I'm lost. Here it is right here. This shit ain't getting no fucking views. What the fuck is this? You jobbing out Carmelo Hayes for 700K views? You pushing Carmelo Hayes to the side for this? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. They did Carmelo Hayes dirty. They did Carmelo Hayes dirty as fuck. This shit is whack. This shit is whack as fuck, bro. I have nothing to really say about this. This match, it'll probably be, guys, y'all can tell I'm just all over the place. I don't care. Trick's gonna win. He'll retain. I don't think Baron Corbin's gonna win. To end the Trick Williams U.S. Championship run by him losing to Baron Corbin is insane. He's not gonna lose to Baron Corbin. I got Trick winning. Let's transition to a secondary title that actually is being booked correctly. And they better not fuck it up. It's Penta versus Chad Gable. Look, I ain't gonna lie. Penta, you've had a great run. And I don't hate Penta. But there's only one correct decision on who should win this match. That's Chad Gable. Like I said, Penta's had a great run with that IC title, right? He beat Dom for it, had the great ladder match at WrestleMania, had good matches with guys like Rusev, good match with Ethan Page, Dragon Lee. I've enjoyed what they've done. Even the Javon Evans match they had on Raw, that was a really good match. I liked it. But I gotta say, Chad Gable needs to win this match. Gable has had a really interesting arc in WWE. He started off as a tag team guy and then got left behind because they wanted to push Jason Jordan, right? So he splits from the tag team, does his own thing for a while, and they kind of just paired him off in these like mixed match, these just random tag teams with random guys, right? First it was Shelton Benjamin. I don't know if you guys remember when he was tag team partners with Bobby Roode. Then he was tag team partners with, who else? I'm forgetting. Otis, of course, right? The Alpha Academy. And that got over. Him and Otis did a good job in that tag team. They brought in Maxine, Akira Tozawa, all these guys. And then he turns heel, right? Because the whole thing with Gunther, I thought he should have been the one to dethrone Gunther. I don't mind him losing earlier on in the story. I didn't mind that at all. It was a nice moment, nice heel moment for Gunther when he beat him in front of his daughter, right? But when WrestleMania came around and they had that gauntlet match and Sami Zayn beat him, fuck no. That was the wrong decision. And look, Sami, he had a great moment with Gunther at WrestleMania. Sami's great. I'm not going to deny that. But that should have been his moment. And could you imagine the reaction he would have got at WrestleMania? But now here we are, SummerSlam. You have a chance to correct that wrong because he put on the mask, did the El Grande shit, got hurt, had that amazing match with Kaiser at AAA. Amazing match. Arguably the match of the year. The environment, everything was special about that match. That was a perfect match. There's a reason they showed that match. They put the whole thing on YouTube. They showed it on Netflix after Raw. That was an amazing match. Now it's time to capitalize on the momentum. You've already fucked up a little bit with the little theme song. And I have my theory about why they gave him that theme song. Because if there's anything WWE loves, it's these entrances, the aura moments. They like the clip farm, like to do all that shit, just like Jey Uso. They love to recreate aura moments, right? And I think what they're trying to do is, especially if he wins, right? Fingers crossed. But if he wins, they want to get the visual of everybody doing the clapping thing to his theme song at the end, right? He'll get a nice reaction in his hometown. And on top of that, they'll be super invested in the match because they're going to have a great match. And hopefully, if he wins, then the fans will, do the little clap to his theme song. So I'm pulling for Chad Gable. I think this is the time to belt him up. You're never going to get another moment like this. All right. This is it. If he loses this match, it's over. It's done. And I think Gable, there's still enough in that tank, obviously, for him to be a main eventer. Because after this, and after he has his IC title run, he needs to go out there and compete with guys like Seth Rollins. Go out there and compete with guys like CM Punk, guys like Cody Rhodes. He should. Hell, we could have a David and Goliath match between him and Obafemi. I think that could be a great match. But it all starts here. He needs to go out there and win against Penta. And I think they'll have a great match. They'll have the crowd in the palm of their hands. And I think Gable's going to win. That's my prediction. I think Chad Gable will finally become a singles champion, finally win the Intercontinental title, and will beat Penta. But that brings us to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I am kind of tired of the whole Shield lore that WWE has been trying to live off of and the bloodline shit. But I'm telling y'all right now, my interest in this match is not that high. The build has been fine. It's actually been good. But it's like, they've done this so many times with Roman and Seth. And, I get that it's been a while since we've seen them compete in a one-on-one match. I think the last time they've had it was the Royal Rumble a couple of years ago. But I'm just kind of over the Shield shit, man. I'm over it. Every time they say a Shield bomb, I cringe. Every time they say a Shield bump, I cringe. Anytime they say Shield chair, I cringe. But I think they'll have a great match. I say all that, but they're going to have a great match. They're going to go out there and cook in the ring. It's almost impossible for Roman and Seth to have a bad match. They'll go out there, they'll cook. And speaking of cook, Roman has been cooking this guy on the mic like crazy. That segment they had, what was it, last week on Raw? Oh my God. Or 2 weeks ago, maybe. This motherfucker, Seth Rollins, got big. He got put in the fucking oven and they put that shit on high. That was insane. That was truly insane. And honestly, bruh, I see Lil Trey. He said they better not involve Brunson and Hallie in the match. I hope not. I hope not. This needs to be a one-on-one match. I better not see Jalen Brunson. I better not see Tyrese Halliburton. I better not see Zilla Fatu. I better not see Jacob. I better not see Jay. I better not see the Usos. I better not see any of that shit. I don't want to see Rikishi's fat ass. I don't want to see none of that shit. It needs to be a one-on-one match. And Roman's going to win. There's your spoiler. There's my answer. Roman's going to win the match. Roman is not going to lose to Seth Rollins. They've already highlighted the fact that Roman can't beat Seth Rollins when it matters, right? And on top of that, Roman is not losing that title till WrestleMania. I don't see that happening. It's clear they want to either do Roman versus Oba, or they're going to do Roman and The Rock. Because they're trying to get Rock on that WrestleMania in Saudi. That Saudi Mania, they want The Rock on that show. And considering the bags they're throwing out, I'm pretty sure The Rock's going to be there. And that Moana shit, that shit flopped, okay? That shitty ass movie. There's a fly in this motherfucker. But that shit flopped. So I think Roman's going to win. Exactly, Lil Trady. Remember my little brother Seth Rollins? Exactly, no pop. That was crazy. Roman always cooks Seth, and it's wild actually. But yeah, I think Roman's going to win the match, and he should win the match. I don't really want to see Seth Rollins as champion. He's not the guy I'd take the title off Roman for. So yeah, those are my thoughts on SummerSlam. Raw is tonight. I'm pretty sure they've already done the weigh-in because they want to be UFC so fucking bad. For those who don't know, Oba and Triple H are doing not Triple H. Oba and Brock are doing a weigh-in tonight, and Triple H is going to be the moderator of the weigh-in. I don't know why. Triple H always likes to insert himself in these things. This motherfucker thinks he's Dana White so bad. And that shit is insane. I think I even tweeted that. Where the fuck is it? Yeah, this man Triple H wants to be Dana White so bad. Cause why? Like why? Why do you need to be there? He always wants to inject himself in some shit. He loves the spotlight. That's the only reason why we have Unreal, by the way. For those who didn't know, Unreal is just a Triple H ego trip. It's him trying to make himself seem as this genius, right? He thinks he's this creative genius, but in reality, he's going out there and really embarrassing himself. The creative team. The way they just made Road Dogg look like a fool is insane. The way they tried to make it look like the John Cena retirement tour was a good thing. Insane. He thinks he's a genius. He wants to be Dana White so bad. But in reality, you're just Vince McMahon again. You're really no better than Vince at this point. The product is garbage. And you trying to show the inner workings of how you make this garbage is insane. Insane. Whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever. But those are my thoughts on SummerSlam. Let's move on to some more news, y'all. Let's move on to some more news. What's up, Kels?
I'm about to go real quick.
Why? What's wrong?
They didn't have no jumbo shells at the PX, so I need to go to Walmart.
Oh. What you need me for?
Are you almost done?
Yeah, I just finished the big thing I need to do. I'm just gonna touch on some couple other things.
Go to Walmart.
Kels, I gotta finish this shit.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay, you'll be waiting.
No, you'll be waiting. That's your dinner.
All right, I got you. All right, but my bad, y'all. Kelsey needed me for some shit. Where were we? Oh yeah, Steph Curry. So Steph Curry, right? The Golden State Warriors, they're at kind of like an impasse right now as far as what they want to do going forward. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull shit up right now about Steph. Here it is right here. So there's a report that says there seems to be some momentum behind Steph Curry potentially leaving the Warriors after they fail to land another star. He now has a 7% chance of leaving the Warriors, according to Polymarket. I know, 7%. That's nothing. Okay. Here's some. So basically, there's just some real like conversations about Steph. So let's listen to what Shams reported. Oh shit. I just realized you guys can't hear me. Oh shit, you guys can't hear it. I just forgot. I don't know what's going on in my audio output. Why this shit is not playing. I don't know what's going on with this shit. Regardless, as you guys can see, there's been a lot of reports about Steph Curry leaving the Golden State Warriors. And let's go through like the timeline of Steph Curry's recent years in Golden State, right? For starters, you got to go back to when Klay Thompson got hurt in the NBA Finals because it all starts there. They have their down year. Steph is hurt. He comes back. Then you have all these young guys, right? Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Moses Moody, James Wiseman. And I said it at the time, and the writing was always on the wall. They needed to move those young guys. But they chose to keep them, which is fine. But just swung and missed completely on James Wiseman. He's fucking garbage and out the league already, right? That was the second overall pick. And let's go to that draft class. Let's go to that draft class and see just how big of a miss that shit was, because that shit was insane. Let's look at how big of a miss that was, y'all. You take James Wiseman with the second overall pick. Look at all the guys they could have taken. They took James Wiseman over LaMelo Ball. They took James Wiseman over Patrick Williams. They took James... Well, I said Patrick Williams. What the fuck? That nigga stinks. The fuck am I talking about? But yeah. LaMelo Ball, you could have used him. Onyeka, you could have used him. Hell, even Obi Toppin is better than that nigga James Wiseman. Denny, you could have used him. Devin Vassell's better than James Wiseman. Tyrese Halliburton, you took James Wiseman over him. You took James Wiseman over, let's see, Emmanuel Quickley. I mean, this whole draft, pretty much everybody drafted after James Wiseman is a better player than him. I think he's damn near the only one, outside of like maybe a few names, especially the ones later on, that's out the fucking league. That shit is embarrassing. So, you swung and missed on James Wiseman. Jonathan Kuminga, let's be honest here. Jonathan Kuminga, it's not his fault what happened to him. That's on the Golden State Warriors. They did not give him the ample amount of real draft development. Steve Kerr didn't give a fuck about that man. Constantly playing with his minutes all over the place. Putting him in lineups that weren't favorable. And on top of that, playing with this man's contract and playing with that man's name. To essentially not put the real trust in Jonathan Kuminga, that was the beginning of the end of this dynasty. And drafting all these guys to just not move them. I mean, it sounds insane now, but at one point, a package of guys like Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman, Moses Moody, and maybe throw in another first could have got you like maybe a Karl-Anthony Towns. It could have got you a legitimate all-star. Hell, even considering how those people were viewed, like those players, those young guys were viewed, it might even got you more than that. And now the best motherfucker they could have picked up is Moses Moody. That's the best dude they got out of all those draft picks. And Moses Moody right now is hurt. And speaking of hurt, that brings us to fucking... Actually, I'm even skipping shit. Jordan Poole. Look at how they fucked that whole situation up. Draymond punched this nigga in the face. And it's been downhill for both sides ever since. They've yet to replace a real scoring guard the way they had in Jordan Poole. They've yet to replace the void that Jordan Poole filled on that team. And they traded this nigga for Chris Paul. They traded Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, y'all. I don't think niggas heard me. They traded Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy to me. But hey, congrats. Congrats. You got what you wanted, right? You got what you wanted. And then let's move on, right? They get Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler on the Warriors. The fact that they thought Jimmy Butler giving him a max contract was a good idea. Holy shit. Jimmy Butler, 36 years old. You gave this nigga a max extension and then he gets hurt, tears his ACL in the middle of last season. You end up not even making the playoffs. You lose in the play-in because Steph Curry has to carry everything. And then your big plans every single year was, guys, we're saving up for Giannis. That's why we're not moving Kuminga and fucking up his minutes. We're trying to get Giannis. Giannis now goes to the Miami Heat. You didn't even have a fucking prayer to get that nigga. And then you pivot. Guys, we're trying to get LeBron. We're trying to get Anthony Davis too. We're going to trade for Anthony Davis because his value's so low in Washington. And then you didn't get Anthony Davis. Oh, but don't worry. We're going to sign LeBron. We're getting LeBron. No, LeBron goes to Philly. So Draymond, who already opted out so you guys could get LeBron, you're now deciding you want to give him $28 million? For those who don't know, yeah, Draymond Green. Let me show you guys what the Warriors is going to do with their money. The Warriors are now expected to re-sign Draymond Green to a contract starting at $28 million a year. That's insane. That is ridiculous. Draymond Green, which I'm not even a Warriors fan, and I feel bad for you niggas. Because how can y'all look Steph Curry in the face and say you're trying to compete, but you making moves like this? Because for those who don't know, Steph Curry, there was a report that came out that Joe Lacob is focused on building the team for the post-Steph era. What Lacob wants to do, and this might get Warriors fans mad, but he wants to build the next team after Steph Curry. That is so insulting. That is so insulting. Because when you have a player like Steph Curry, who's done so much for your organization, and is still playing at an elite level. Steph is like a top 10 player when he's healthy. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Steph Curry is like the third best point guard in the league when he's healthy? Other than Luka, SGA, he's right there. He's right there. Jalen Brunson, if you want to say Brunson's better because of health, that's fine. But when they're both healthy, I'm taking Steph over Jalen Brunson. And that's not a shot at Jalen Brunson. That's just how good Steph still currently is when he's available. The man goes out there and he walks into 26, 28 a game, 5-6 assists, 5 rebounds, still shooting efficiently. One of the most insane three-point shooters, even still right now at this point in his career. You owe it to somebody like that that's done so much for you. 4 championships, finals MVP, 2 MVPs back to back. He's turned your franchise from being one of the least profitable teams. The Warriors, in the course of Steph Curry's career, went from one of the least profitable teams in the NBA to one of the most profitable teams in sports. All on the back of Steph Curry being the face of their franchise. And you're telling me that you want to bring back motherfuckers like Draymond Green for $28 million? You want to pay 36-year-old coming off an ACL Jimmy Butler a max contract? And you want to plan for Steph's post-Steph era? What the fuck? You should be trying to maximize these years of Steph Curry. I'd understand if Steph was averaging 15 and 6 and he's on his way out, but he's still producing at an elite level. That's insulting. That is insulting to Steph Curry. I don't even know what to fucking say. That is disrespectful. That's disrespectful to Steph. And honestly, Steph has every right to stay in Golden State. He has every right to leave Golden State. I don't have no issue with that. But it's crazy to me how I'm seeing motherfuckers out here. I'm seeing the Warriors out here just throwing his prime away. They're throwing away the last couple of years of his career. And if you're Steph, you're frustrated. You've got to be frustrated. And I don't think Steph's going to leave Golden State. Hell, we even saw the report as we were scrolling here. It said that they're looking to get an extension done. According to Shams, Steph Curry and the Warriors are mutually interested in getting a contract extension done this summer. You know, he has every right to stay. But it's just sad. It's sad to see what they're doing with him. They don't appreciate that nigga. Because if their plans were, let's try to get Giannis, let's hoard all these young niggas, and then move Jonathan Kuminga for fucking Kristaps Porzingis, let's move Jordan Poole for fucking Chris Paul, let's sign Jimmy Butler, let's try to get Anthony Davis and LeBron, and make the unction with Steph, Jimmy, LeBron, AD, and Draymond. Joe Lacob, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you're lucky that Steph's a good guy. Because he's better than me. I'd have found my way to Toronto by now. I'd have found my way to Miami. Because this is insane. This is insane as fuck. But, man. Let's move on to the other piece of news that broke on the internet recently. Black Panther. My boy David Johnson is Black Panther, y'all. Let me show y'all what popped off recently. David Johnson, Nigerian brother himself, is the new Black Panther. Black Panther 3, directed by Ryan Coogler, arrives in theaters in December 15th, 2028. So 2 years from now, Black Panther will be out. And honestly, I love this casting. I think David Johnson's a great actor. I loved what I saw from him on what was it? The Long Walk or The Long Yard, whatever the fuck it was. That was a great movie. I watched that with Kelsey the other not the other day. That was like a week or two ago. I think we watched it on HBO. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Yeah, The Long Walk. That was a great movie. And that's really the only thing I can remember seeing him in. But just that performance alone, I'm cool with this casting. I love this casting. I've seen a lot of people say Damson should have got the role and Michael B. Jordan was blocking. Honestly, man, first of all, let's address something. This nigga looks just like Chadwick. Like, I've seen the side by side even with him and Lupita. And look at this. Like, motherfuckers are out here saying what we want versus what we got. And I'm so glad this dude said this. Somebody said they wanted Daniel from Insecure. They wanted Coltrane to be Black Panther. Are y'all niggas insane? Are y'all niggas insane? Bro, this ain't about who you want to fuck. This is about who's going to be the better actor and who looks the part. Y'all got to also remember, like, the time skip that they're going to have in between Black Panther 2 and Black Panther 3. It can't justify some of these castings that you guys are throwing out. Would Damson have been cool? I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, Damson would have been a cool Black Panther. But who's to say that David Johnson is a worse actor than Damson? Someone said he was good in the new Alien movie last year. I haven't seen it. I'm not a film enthusiast, but from what I've seen, he's good for the role. I like it. I like the casting. And he's Nigerian. He's African. Just like Damson is. I don't see what the issue with this casting is at all. Y'all just want people to be casted that y'all could fuck. Y'all want to put people in these spots that y'all want to fuck. That's really all it is. You niggas are gay. You niggas are weird. And some of you women, y'all need to tune in for the right reasons because this shit is insane. Let's move on. So LeBron is now a Philadelphia 76er. And for those who don't know, the NBA dropped I don't know if it was the NBA, but somebody dropped their top defenders of all time list. And they had LeBron at 22nd. So Tony Allen decided to respond. And you could tell he's a little pressed about it. But we're going to react to what Tony Allen said. Don't know why is this off. Maybe I'll just add this in the background or something. Yeah, I don't know why something's tweaking on my end on OBS, but no worries. I'll fix it here.
LeBron at number 22. No decoys.
Let me just speak on that. Like, Bron, stop it, bro. You ain't never had to check nobody, bro. Everybody had to check Bron.
You know what's so weird about him saying that? He said Bron stop it like Bron made the damn list. Nigga, he ain't make the list. This is a Bleacher Report list, fam. So what the fuck is he talking about Bron stop it?
His biggest defensive plays are the chase down blocks. You get what I'm saying? That's his biggest thing, the chase down block. But
you know, when niggas say shit like that, I just have to say you're uninformed. And Tony Allen, I'm very disappointed that he said this. Maybe he's more upset because LeBron was higher on the list than him. I don't know. But I'm very disappointed that he said this because, one, LeBron is more than just chase down blocks. Kels, what's up, bro?
I'm not saying I can't look. Jesus.
All right, Kels, you're doing a lot.
I'm just looking. You're doing a lot.
All right, bro.
You know what?
I fucking lost my train of thought. Like I said, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. That just LeBron is more than just a chase down block artist. And Tony Allen, I'm so disappointed that he even said that. He knows more basketball than I'll ever know. But to limit LeBron to just being a chase down artist when LeBron at his peak defensively was one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, one of the best off-ball defenders in the league, was great at rotations, a good weak side shot blocker, even in a half court. LeBron was like a secondary rim protector for Cleveland and Miami. We forget that when LeBron was in Miami, a lot of their biggest issues was the lack of size. And LeBron helped shore that up. So I'm stunned that Tony Allen would even say some shit like that. That's insane to me. That's insane to me that Tony Allen would say that. But let's keep going.
He was saying something like he could have got Mark Gasol award.
He said that is his award. That's his award. He said Mark Gasol got my decoy.
Cool. So let me pull a sheet up on something. Bro, every time Mark got the award, when Mark got that award, everybody that summer or everybody was asking me why I ain't get the award. Man, I didn't think not one time LeBron deserved that. If Mark didn't get it, I should have got it.
We with you.
I
ride with you on that.
And to see that he's saying for his legacy, he should have got that award. I'm saying to myself, bro, every game you came in, you was the 100. You was the guy.
You was a traffic cone.
And all you did was
a traffic cone is crazy.
Chase down blocks a game. Name somebody that he had to lock up and get the win.
Hey,
you can't even think about that because it was always somebody trying to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't had time to be stopping nobody. That what confused me about that.
I think.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Tony Allen said that for real. That's a wild take. Yeah, we're gonna get to Charles Barkley soon. Because that shit was crazy, too, what he said. Yeah, for Tony Allen to say that is very startling and surprising and weird. Because for one, LeBron, look, I'll say this. I have no problem with Tony Allen defending Marc Gasol. Right? That's his bro. That was his teammate. And I actually think Marc Gasol had a valid case to win that Defensive Player of the Year. It's actually disrespectful that people act like Marc Gasol just robbed LeBron. If you think LeBron should have won, that's fine. But it's not like Marc Gasol had no case for the award. The Grizzlies are one of the best defenses of that decade, to be honest. And they were anchored by Marc Gasol. Other guys pitched in as well. Tony Allen, Mike Conley, all those guys. But Marc Gasol was the rim protector. So I have no problem with Tony Allen sticking up for Marc Gasol and being a little annoyed about LeBron saying that Marc Gasol stole his defensive player of the year. That's fine. But when you go out of your way to say niggas were hunting LeBron, you know what's crazy? Motherfuckers don't even really be hunting LeBron now. And you expect me to believe in 2012, the games that we all watched, the games that you were playing, that LeBron was getting hunted down? Why did you just lie? LeBron was more than just a chase down artist. LeBron was going out there guarding motherfuckers like Paul Pierce for 48 minutes when he was in Cleveland. I feel like people forget LeBron was top 2 in defensive player of the year in 2009. LeBron was a lockdown nigga back in the day. And then in Miami, you're trying to tell me he wasn't locking dudes up? In what world? We didn't see him go out there and guard motherfuckers like Paul George, guard motherfuckers like Derrick Rose. Hell, in the finals in 2014, guess who guarded Tony Parker the best out of everybody on that Miami Heat team and did a great job at it? It was LeBron. It wasn't D Wade. It wasn't Shane Battier. It was LeBron. So I don't know where this is coming from for him to say that LeBron was getting hunted. LeBron is one of the only niggas that people can just come out and lie about his legacy. And then you got these dick riders around Tony Allen talking about some, you ain't lying. He was a traffic cone. He ain't guard nobody. The fuck? You niggas are clowns. And Tony Allen, that was one of the worst takes I've ever heard you say. Actually, I don't really hear Tony Allen speak a lot of takes. The only thing I really know from him is, boy, it's out the mud. We got Rashad McCants. That's it. But that was insane. And Tony Allen knows better than to say some foolish shit like that. That was insane. But speaking of fools, that brings me to big old Charles Barkley. Clown ass Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley just be contradicting himself and just saying the worst shit, bruh. Here it is right here, y'all.
LeBron James, if he were to win a championship in Philly, it would be his 4th different team he's won a title with. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to have their opinions about that. What would Charles Barkley's opinion be that he's gone to yet another team, a different team, a 4th team to win the championship? What would your thoughts be about that?
Well, I think number one, it would be incredible. But the number one knock on LeBron for older guys like myself has always been, yo, man, you always stacking your team. He stacked it in Miami. He stacked it in Cleveland. He stacked it in LA. Now he's stacking it in Philly. So that, to me, I'm going to still have the same criticism I've always had. He's always stacked his team.
Charles Barkley, Charles Barkley, Charles Barkley. You know, I find it real ironic for someone like Charles Barkley to say that shit, when Charles Barkley was known for stacking his teams at the end of his career. Hell, even in the middle of his prime. Go look at those Phoenix Suns teams before Charles Barkley got there. They were a 50-win team. That was a team that had Dan Marley, a defensive player of the year candidate. Kevin Johnson, an all-NBA player that was known as one of the best guards in the league. Charles Barkley, what about when you left Phoenix to go to Houston? When you went to go team up with Scottie Pippen and Hakeem Olajuwon, but you want to knock LeBron for leaving and going to teams? At least LeBron's winning. You ain't even win. You ain't even win. And it's so hypocritical. These motherfuckers will sit there and try to erase these digital images that we already seen. Did we not see Kobe team up with Shaq, Gary Payton, and Karl Malone? Did we not see that? The fuck are these niggas talking about? Did we not see Paul Pierce team up with KG and Ray Allen? I mean, it's so amazing to me because Shaq is the biggest one that motherfuckers just be forgetting about. Shaq was literally on the record saying He was joining team to team to team. Miami, Phoenix, Boston, Cleveland. Just so he can get his 5th ring. When he obviously had no business being in the NBA at some point. What the fuck are we talking about? Charles, you joined a 50-plus win team in your prime. With 2 other All-NBA players, Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley. What the fuck are you talking about? And you didn't even win. That's the crazy shit. Nigga, you ain't even win doing what LeBron was doing. But you want to knock LeBron, who's 40 plus years old, to join some other team? That's don't get me wrong, Philly's a great team. I'm not denying that. But LeBron is not a superstar. LeBron's not a top 10 player anymore. There's about 15 guys in the league you could take over LeBron. Sure, LeBron's still a great player. Sure, he's still an all-star caliber player. I'm not denying that. But for people to sit there and act like LeBron owes it to motherfuckers like Charles Barkley and the fans to go and, I don't know, maybe go and join the Charlotte Hornets and try to compete for a playoff spot with them so he can even out the league. No, nigga, he's trying to win. We're trying to win chips here, nigga. That's what he's trying to do. And there's nothing wrong with him choosing to go to Philly. He took less money. That's the crazy shit. He took less money to do that. I don't understand this idea that because LeBron joins and he stacks the deck. Nigga, when he was in Miami, Boston was there. They stacked the deck on him and he said, I'm going to one up that shit. When he went back to Cleveland, that Cleveland team, I feel like people think that Cleveland was like so overwhelmingly talented or something like that. And they were a good team, don't get me wrong. But it's not like they were dominant. They weren't dominant. The Warriors popped up right after, and then KD joined them. And please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. How did he stack the deck in LA? When he won a championship in LA, it was him, Anthony Davis, and a whole bunch of role players. Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, Kyle Kuzma. That's stacking the deck. Danny Green, Avery Bradley. That's stacking the deck. Now, I'll admit, he did go out there and tell them to trade for Russ, but that shit ain't even work out. If you want to knock him for that, go ahead and knock him for that. But he ain't tell them to go and get Luka. And even with Luka, that Lakers team wasn't stacked. It wasn't stacked. And Luka got hurt. I don't. It's hypocritical what Charles Barkley's saying. On top of that, he did the same thing in his prime and at the end of his career. And he's just flat out wrong. You're a hating ass nigga. That's what it is. You're a hater. And to all you old heads, y'all like to like wipe away the things that these niggas was doing back then. Scottie Pippen leaving the Bulls and going to the Blazers. Scottie Pippen leaving and then going to go join Hakeem and Charles Barkley in Houston. All these niggas was doing it. Gary Payton was team hopping at the end of his career. But because LeBron's good, he's too good to do it, right? Get the fuck out of here. Give me a fucking break, nigga. Give me a fucking break. But that wraps up this stream, you guys. I appreciate everybody for showing up and showing out. A lot of topics I had to get into. Appreciate you guys for all being here. Next episode, I will probably talk about some NFL. I'll talk about some NFL as the season wanes on or comes to a start soon. But you guys stay safe and have a blessed day. I'm out. Peace.